figure out my life, feeling very kind of lost, and suddenly being in Tula, in this beautiful place, poetic, with these beautiful people. And after we went to see the Atlantis, and after the whole thing, we went to the plaza in Tula, and we went to his favorite restaurant, a very tiny place where the lady was making the tortillas. And we ate some tacos. And when we got out of there, these other two practitioners from Mexico City, there was an ice cream place next to this taco place. And imagine this was already around 5, 6 p.m. at the end of the day. The Nahual, when we got out of the taco place, took us to his favorite bench in Tula, where he sat down with no one to observe the end of the day, the dying. He wanted us to introduce us to death, okay? He said that. But these other two practitioners said, there's an ice cream place, they have an ice cream. So we started the day, by the way, 7 o'clock in the morning. So it was a long day with a lot of life. It was like a lifetime in one day, being with him and with Kylie and the Atlantis, and it was whoa. So as we walked toward the bench, these two practitioners said to the Nahual, oh, Nahualito, let's get an ice cream. So I look at him because he clearly said in the workshops, no sugar, right? He made a very clear point, the Nahual, about nutrition and movement and well-being. So I was like, oh, no, I'm not having an ice cream. And Darian and Kylie look at me and she went like, so we all got quiet, and these two went and had an ice cream. So we waited for them. You see, the Nahual was going to introduce us to death, but these two wanted to have an ice cream. You understand, right? So we waited for them, and then Nahual said, we are so fucked up, Chola. He said, you know, we are so fucked up. Well, fuck it. So the bench was right there, okay? And we all went to the van. And we missed the opportunity that afternoon in Tula to know about death, because these two wanted to have an ice cream. So we went back to the hotel, and in the hotel, once they drove us to the hotel, where the Santa Isabel, we sat down in the restaurant because the Nahual loved to sit down and eat and talk, and we can be sitting for 3 hours. So we sat down at the restaurant for 3 hours, and for 3 hours, he was very calming, but very steady, non-stop, furiously ranting about ice cream and sugar. So for, you know, to be very clear from me from the very beginning, the importance of food. You know, how we have been conditioned to eat certain things that they are really a heartbreak to our soul, because they just take us apart from our nature. We belong to the stars. We have the star materials in our blood. We have the iron. We are pure spirit. And you go and have an ice cream. So, right, the good news, so after 3 hours of non-stop, very calming, but very steady, like a knife that goes through your belly, very steady and very slowly going through. And I was like, I promised myself, I never again have anything with sugar in my life, you know, just to make it clear. We went upstairs to the room, and he showed us, he put one of these little packages of sugar that you give in the restaurant in our bellies and do the muscle testing. And it's very clear, you can do it at home. How, and this is not just about sugar, right? But it's about finding the nutrients that are good for our souls. It's it's not for our egos, finding the nutrients that are for our souls. The good news is that he woke up in the morning very early, knock at the doors, where Darian and I to our rooms and Kylie. And by 6 o'clock, say, okay, pack, we are leaving. And we didn't know where. And he took us with a taxi back to Tula. And we did and that is another story, what happened that day. But we had another opportunity. But the day before, we missed it, you see. So, and it's not to blame anybody because it could have been me. You see, we all sometimes we miss being present because we are being pulled by the conditioning of our culture. And food is a big one. So we will create a book of recipe, all of us together, for longevity. And longevity is not just because we want to live 100 years old, like Tom's dad, we will be great, right? But it's not really that longevity that we really, really press about, because Castaneda didn't live 100 years old. But man, to the last minute, he was fully present, and he was fully in his role of a servant of the Spirit and a mediator of the Spirit. Because even the day he died, he looked at me and he said, "Do you have breakfast? Okay, now we can move." And we did movements the day he died. And he died with full awareness and in peace with everything and with everybody around. I want to die that way too. No matter maybe the amount of time, it's just how you are with yourself inside, right? So yeah.
And just to reinforce, I mean, we are sharing this story today, which is we are focusing on movement, and it seems to be a story on food, but the common denominator is that be it food, be it movement, be it any of the 8 areas, they're all conduits to something else, which is the encounter with Spirit. And the story, one of the poignancy of the story is how our socialization gets in the way. Their desire to have an ice cream was nothing to blame them personally. That's what they've done to us. That's what our socialization has done to us. We are hooked onto patterns of behavior that get in the way. We are in automatic pilot. We just see an ice cream shop and we just compelled, oh, we should have an ice cream. And sugar is nice and we can just lick it and just have fun. But we miss out the real encounter. And so through movements, we do them for all the right reasons as society tells us, and as a means to remember ourselves, where we come from and what are we here for. Same with the food, they're conduits, and that's the thing for us to remember.
Yeah. So to wrap it up, class, and we would love to hear your feedback. We will create that. We will send you to the email group those recipes that are. I have them in Spanish. We will translate it in different languages. Everybody has it. And we ask you to send recipes, if possible, plant-based, because you see, Carlos Castaneda ate meat until a year before he died. And the year before he died, he became vegan. Most people don't know that, but he did because he got sick eating meat. And there are many reasons and stories about that, but try to find something that is more, that will be easy to absorb for everybody, like this recipe, something that you like to eat, that is pleasurable and nutritious too. So will nurture yourself at all levels. And of course, there's some sweet recipes that Vero has. The sweet things, the sweetness is fine. We just don't want to have products with artificial hormones and artificial colors, and they are very addictive and they alter the brain function. We don't want to have all that crappy stuff, but of course you can have something sweet and you know, something that is in harmony with yourself. But the point is that treat the physical body, because it's longevity for the body, the cycle, as something so sacred, you know, that the body is sacred and is an instrument for fun and for growth and for experiencing life. Usually we are trained, at least myself, I've been conditioned to punish my body. I think I'm not the only one. So when something goes wrong, we punish ourselves with negative thoughts and the body gets stressed out. But if we get too stressed out, we go to the fridge and there we go to the ice cream, or you know, we create, you know, we punish our bodies, you know. For whatever reason, that syntax in the world exists, putting in ourselves things that they are not, that we don't even know the ingredients of it. What is it that I'm putting in my body that will affect my perception and that will affect my experience of being alive? Yes, please.
Get comfortable either sitting, or if you want to go back to your mat.
Do the visualization?
Just
or
finish.
sharing?
No.
Okay.
Well, it's up to you. But
I don't know if anybody would like to share anything, or we go to the, we were going to do like a little visualization, or maybe if someone wants to share something. I always like to hear from you guys.
Yeah, Aaron, I have a question. This is Ale.
Sí, hola.
Yeah, I'd like to know if in your recipes that you guys, that you and the cook, the person who is a chef, I like to, if you guys could include something like how to balance the food for, you know, for pH, you know, it's something I'm dealing with, if that's possible. Yeah. And how to handle the sugars and all that stuff. Yeah. Because it's something really important in food. I enjoy eating food, but I'm really careful, and there's a lot of restrictions there, you know, like depending on our own body, our own reactions, I don't know how to call it, our own physicality. Yeah, and I like to, if that's something of that would be great. Yeah. And the recipes, you know, being tasty and being nutritious and balancing is the most important. Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's all. Yes. The pH, you mean the alkaline or acidity, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yes. But yes, because most of these artificial ingredients that is put in everything that we eat, that we consume from the outside, have high acidity levels. So it's very important, the pH. Yes, most of this recipe will have an alkaline effect in the body. Yes, of course. Great. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
We want to make sure that everybody understands that we are opening the floor for all of you from all countries to share just great, small, simple recipes